Can you imagine being part of one of the most iconic musical families in America and still feeling like a disposable pawn in a twisted game of fame and fortune? Well, buckle up, because Tamar Braxton just ripped the lid off a family secret that nobody saw coming. Is it sibling rivalry? A messy feud? Or something darker? Something so chilling it could rewrite the Braxton family legacy forever? Tamar claims that the shining spotlight on Toni Braxton didn't come without a cost, and that cost, shockingly, was her own sister, Traci. Yes, you heard that right. Traci Braxton, the quiet, talented sister who many thought was simply the different one, allegedly became the sacrificial lamb in a high-stakes game of stardom, loyalty, and ruthless ambition. And Tamar isn't holding back. She's pointing fingers, exposing long-buried secrets, and hinting that what we've all seen on reality TV was only the tip of the iceberg. Fans are gasping. The internet is exploding. And the question everyone is asking, how deep does this family drama really go? And is fame worth the price of blood? Stick around, because we're diving headfirst into the scandal that has the world talking. And trust me, you do not want to miss this. The Braxton family has always been seen as the epitome of musical royalty. Gospel roots and sisterly harmony. But behind the polished image and Grammy-winning fame lies a story so shocking it could rewrite everything fans thought they knew about the iconic family. Tamar Braxton, fearless, outspoken, and unfiltered, has stepped forward claiming that Toni Braxton's rise to superstardom came at the expense of her own sister Traci, who she alleges was quietly pushed aside, marginalized, and made to bear the emotional weight so that the others could thrive. The quiet, supportive sister who rarely made headlines allegedly became the sacrificial lamb in a high-stakes game of fame, fortune, and family loyalty. Tamar describes a childhood steeped in scripture, choir practice, and strict religious discipline where faith was not just encouraged but demanded. Yet when the music industry called, everything changed and a hierarchy formed with Toni at the pinnacle, adored by fans and media alike, while Traci was left navigating minor gigs, subtle exclusions, and the hidden cruelty of a family that knew how to smile for the cameras, while hiding resentment and calculated neglect. On reality TV, viewers might have noticed Traci sitting quietly, often left out of conversations, reaction shots, or family decisions. But Tamar's revelation suggests this was not editing or coincidence. She insists it was deliberate, a long-standing pattern where Traci absorbed rejection, emotional isolation, and the consequences of a system that rewarded one sister while sacrificing another. Tamar herself recounts forming prayer circles and seeking solace in scripture, while being mocked and dismissed by the very people who were supposed to protect her, including Toni, who allegedly belittled her faith, claimed the Bible was outdated, and suggested that prayer and spiritual devotion were pointless. Anonymous sources who claim insider knowledge of the Braxton household describe lavish spending and career prioritization for Toni that contrasted sharply with neglect for Traci, showing a calculated system of favoritism where appearances and success mattered more than sisterly support. Fans quickly began dissecting every moment from family shows, interviews, and social media, rewatching scenes that once seemed trivial, now seeing Traci's quiet tears, hesitant smiles, and moments of frustration as proof of a deliberate sidelining, sparking intense debates and online communities speculating about whether this was ordinary family dynamics or a more sinister design. Tamar also hints at a pattern of personal trauma connected to the family environment, describing waking up in a pool of her own blood, bruised and confused, suggesting that her struggles were part of a broader warning system for speaking out or challenging the status quo. Birthday wishes, public appearances, and staged reconciliations are painted as hollow gestures, part of a performance to maintain an image while private divisions festered. Tamar positions herself as both survivor and investigator, teasing that what fans have seen is only a fraction of the truth, claiming receipts, evidence, and stories that could shatter the long-held image of the Braxton family as a harmonious, gospel-driven dynasty. Every revelation builds suspense, tension, and drama, making fans question how much of what they have believed was real, and how much was carefully orchestrated to protect fame and success at the expense of love, loyalty, and the well-being of Traci, the sister who bore the silent cost of ambition. The stage is set with Toni's dazzling career in the spotlight, and the shadow of Traci's exclusion looming large, leaving Tamar to expose the cracks in a legacy that was polished for public admiration but, according to her, hides betrayal, emotional manipulation, and the haunting question of whether the sacrifices made behind the scenes were necessary for fame. forcing fans to reconsider everything they thought they knew about the family, their relationships, and the high price paid for celebrity loyalty and the pursuit of superstardom. As the story unfolds, the details of Tamar Braxton's accusations paint a picture so chilling that it forces fans to reconsider every family interaction, every public appearance, and every moment captured on reality television, revealing a pattern that feels more orchestrated than coincidental, a system where power, fame, and emotional manipulation intersect with devastating consequences for those who are sidelined, namely Traci Braxton, the sister who, according to Tamar, paid the heaviest price, quietly enduring neglect, exclusion, and emotional strain while Toni Braxton's career soared to international acclaim, her Grammy-winning albums, sold-out tours, and media adoration creating a shining contrast that only highlights the cost borne in silence by the one left behind. And Tamar's voice cracks open the facade of unity and sisterhood with vivid descriptions of lavish spending on Toni's image, clothing, tours, and promotions that allegedly contrasted sharply with the lack of support, acknowledgement, and encouragement given to Traci, who remained a background figure, often ignored, often invisible to the cameras, and allegedly positioned to absorb the family's internal tension, resentment, and sacrifices so that Toni could thrive. And fans began connecting the dots, recalling moments when Traci's tears went unnoticed, when she asked for respect and validation that never came, and when she appeared isolated during family events, realizing that what they assumed was reality TV editing might actually have been intentional exclusion, all while Tamar Braxton shared personal experiences of being mocked, dismissed, and even threatened for forming prayer circles and seeking protection through her faith. Her devotion to scripture presented as a point of ridicule rather than support, painting a stark contrast between her own spiritual commitment and the alleged disregard by Toni, who, Tamar claims, dismissed religion entirely, told her prayers were pointless, and even suggested that the Bible was outdated, a tool of oppression written by men who did not deserve reverence. And these allegations sparked a wildfire of reactions from fans, social media commentators, and pop culture enthusiasts, dissecting every clip, every interview, and every family photo for signs of intentional exclusion or favoritism. While anonymous sources supposedly close to the family shared insights about financial and career decisions, highlighting the lavish resources allocated to Toni's rise and the minimal investment in Traci's endeavors, giving credibility to Tamar's claims that Traci was systematically sacrificed. And the narrative grows darker as Tamar links her own near-fatal experiences to this toxic family dynamic, recounting waking up bloodied, bruised, and with memory gaps she cannot explain, suggesting a pattern of danger that accompanies those who dare to challenge the family hierarchy, with every hospital visit, overdose scare, and public breakdown positioned as a warning about the consequences of breaking the silence, and the fans, captivated and horrified, are left to wonder if these events were random misfortunes or intentional attempts to suppress Tamar's voice. While the public begins to speculate about the family's internal power dynamics, questioning how far favoritism, fame, and control extend, as Tamar teases additional revelations, claiming that what has already been seen is just a fraction of the truth, and that the so-called Braxton harmony is a carefully curated mask hiding years of emotional manipulation, betrayal, and strategic sacrifice, turning reality television, interviews, and public appearances into evidence in a story of survival and exposure. As Tamar positions herself as both the witness and the investigator, promising to reveal receipts, insider knowledge, and accounts that could forever change the public's perception of the family, while the shadow of Traci's life and struggles looms large, her exclusion and pain forming the foundation upon which the glamorous success of Toni is built, leaving the audience to grapple with the haunting implications of ambition, loyalty, and sacrifice, and forcing everyone who once admired the Braxton name to question what price is truly paid for fame when family, faith, and the well-being of those closest to you are put on the line, creating a tension so gripping and suspenseful that no one can look away from Tamar's revelations. And as fans analyze every gesture, comment, and scene anew, they are confronted with the reality that the story of the Braxton family may be far darker, far more manipulative, and far more calculated than anyone dared imagine. The tension escalates as Tamar Braxton continues to expose what she claims is a deliberate pattern of control, favoritism, and emotional manipulation within the Braxton family, suggesting that the system which allowed Toni Braxton to rise to superstardom was built on the quiet suffering of Traci Braxton, and that her own struggles are now part of a continuing cycle of intimidation and silencing, with every near-fatal accident, public breakdown, and health scare framed as evidence that those who dare speak out face real consequences. And fans are left questioning whether this is simply a tragic family dynamic or a much darker, more calculated hierarchy where loyalty is demanded but never returned, and betrayal is hidden behind smiles and staged reconciliations. While Tamar insists that the exclusion she has endured, the subtle mockery of her faith, and the deliberate distance kept by her sisters, especially Toni, reveal a pattern so systematic that it resembles a form of control bordering on cult-like behavior, with appearances, performances, and public interactions meticulously designed to maintain a facade of harmony while privately enforcing a hierarchy of sacrifice. And as Tamar teases additional revelations, she implies that the public has only glimpsed the tip of the iceberg, hinting that more proof, receipts, and insider information exists that could completely alter the narrative fans have believed for years, turning the image of the Braxtons from a celebrated family of gospel-turned R&B icons into a cautionary tale about ambition, loyalty, and the cost of fame. And the story grows even more intense as Tamar recalls instances where she sought solace in prayer, formed circles for protection, and leaned into her faith, only to face ridicule, skepticism, and distance from her sisters, showing a clear divide between the spiritual values she holds and the pursuit of career and image her family allegedly prioritized. And this contrast fuels the public's fascination, as viewers, critics, and social media commentators pore over every interaction, every video clip, every interview, searching for signs of intentional marginalization or favoritism. With Traci's quiet resilience and understated presence, now recast as the foundation upon which the more glamorous and celebrated members of the family built their careers, and Tamar's warnings about her own potential fate add a layer of suspense and urgency that keeps audiences captivated, forcing them to consider that the emotional and physical toll she has endured might be part of a calculated effort to maintain silence and preserve the family's public image, while simultaneously highlighting the stakes of revealing the truth. And as fans continue to debate, speculate, and revisit old footage, the narrative takes on the weight of both a dramatic expose and a cautionary tale, suggesting that fame, power, and success in high-profile families may come with hidden costs that are invisible until someone brave enough dares to speak. And Tamar positions herself as the whistleblower, survivor and investigator all at once, promising that more evidence, stories, and revelations are coming, leaving the audience on edge, wondering if the Braxton legacy will ever be seen the same way again, and forcing everyone to confront uncomfortable questions about loyalty, sacrifice, and the price of stardom. While the shadow of Traci's suffering looms as a haunting reminder that behind every glamorous career and polished public persona may lie untold struggles, silenced voices, and a hidden hierarchy, and the public is left to absorb the full weight of Tamar's claims, realizing that the story of the Braxton family, as portrayed in public, is now complicated by allegations of manipulation, exclusion, and emotional sacrifice, creating a narrative so gripping, suspenseful, and shocking that no one can look away. And as Tamar continues to tease that the most explosive revelations are still to come, fans are compelled to stay engaged, question everything they believed, and brace themselves for the next chapter in a saga where fame, loyalty, faith, and betrayal collide in a story that could forever change the way the world sees the Braxton sisters. So now the question is, what happens next, and who will have the courage to reveal the full truth behind the Braxton family legacy? Tamar Braxton has shaken the foundations of what fans once believed was a harmonious, gospel-rooted dynasty, and she isn't stopping. Every post, every live session, every cryptic hint she drops keeps the world on edge, forcing us to confront uncomfortable questions about loyalty, sacrifice, and the price of fame. Are we watching a family feud? Or are we witnessing a carefully orchestrated system where one sister's pain paved the way for another's stardom? The answers are out there, but only if we keep our eyes open, dissect every moment, and demand accountability. And this is where you come in, because the story isn't just about Tamar, Toni, or Traci. It's about all of us who consume celebrity, gossip, and reality TV, often ignoring the invisible struggles behind the glitz and glamour. Did Traci Braxton pay the ultimate price for fame? Is Tamar next in line? Or will she finally break the silence fully and expose every hidden secret, every act of betrayal, every calculated sacrifice that has been kept from the public for decades? We may not know yet, but one thing is certain: the truth is coming, and it's going to change everything. So I want you to think about it, talk about it, and share your thoughts. Comment below with what you believe, share your own insights or theories, and let your voice be heard, because this is a story that demands attention and discussion. If you want to stay on the edge of every shocking revelation, every explosive confession, and every dark secret revealed, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single update. The Braxton legacy is being rewritten before our eyes, and you won't want to be the one left behind when the next bombshell drops. Stay tuned, stay alert, and remember, sometimes the truth is far stranger and far darker than fiction.